When I was a baby, my mother called herself a homemaker. This meant she was solely responsible for all housekeeping and child-rearing tasks in our home. When I was 6, my mother took a full-time job as a secretary and still maintained her role as homemaker. That's what was expected, and I never questioned it. Mom had various bosses at work, all of whom were men. She liked some better than others. At that time, most mothers did not work outside the home. Daycare facilities didn't exist. There were no after-school programs. Kids like me were called latchkey kids because we were home alone after school. I heard the term from teachers and from the mothers of my friends. It was usually whispered and was never accompanied by a smile. Things had changed a great deal by the time I was an adult. Women were in the workforce in greater numbers than ever. It had become culturally acceptable for a woman to work outside the home. When I started my family, my husband was making a good salary, so I chose to stay home with my kids. When other women, my contemporaries, casually asked me, "What do you do?" there never seemed to be an acceptable answer. The words "stay-at-home mom" seemed to carry the same whispered shame I felt as a latchkey kid. I never felt as if the money my husband brought home was mine. I constantly encouraged my daughters with the words, "You can be anything you want to be," even as my own life was completely engulfed in theirs. Things continue to change. My older daughter has children of her own. She's worked hard in school and has a high-powered professional job. Her husband works from home, and while they share all the household and financial responsibilities, the balance is the reverse of traditional families of the past. It hasn't turned my daughter into a man or some way emasculated her husband. This works for them, and their children have the gift of being allowed to be whoever they are. Young families like theirs pave the way for a new kind of gender fluidity, a world in which the gender we're born with doesn't dictate any aspect of our lives. Instead of a million boy meets girl fairy tales, we can create a world of human meets human reality.